You entered information about purchasing an inventory. There's a lot of reports you can use. Now, the most important one you've used already. So I'm going to go ahead and close up what I already have here. And let's go into purchasing and go into the reports for purchasing. And the first one here, open items. Now, you've already seen the open items, and we've used them for many different things. We've used it for goods receipt POs. They're good for purchase orders, purchase quotations, even invoices, and a lot more. So you can click on any of those. Let's just do the invoices, for example, and you can see a list of all the invoices that are currently open and what you want to do with them. You can, of course, as we did earlier, double click on columns to sort them in the correct order for whatever you're doing. So for example, I can go in and look at the invoice for our order of the adapters and pizza tablet. Now I'm going to close that up. Let me show you a different one. And that is the purchase analysis report. You see it's got 3 tabs on the top here. It's got one for vendors, items, and sales employees. You can set this up as an annual, monthly, or quarterly report and look at invoices, purchase orders, good receipts, a whole bunch of different things, which are up to whatever you want to do. I'm just going to go for invoices here. And I'm going to go look at an annual report for a vendor. I can look at all my vendors, just as an example here, and go ahead and click OK. Now you'll notice up here before I click OK that I've actually changed the dates here. I could be going by, let's say, the due date here, but that's going to be a bit of a problem because there's not a lot of transactions in this year. I set this to 2016 ahead of time because those dates got a lot of data in them. So let's go ahead and hit that. And you can see all the 2016 transactions and who did what. So let's just go into Acme Associates. You can double click on the row number here. So if I double click on the 1, I get a much more detailed report of this showing me all of those transactions. And so there's all of the transactions. I can go into these transactions. And there's the AP invoice for that particular one. It also gives you some nice charts on the bottom where you can see where your volumes are. So that's kind of neat. And I can go ahead and I'll go back one. And it goes back to this screen if I wanted to look at a different one. And I'll hit the blue arrow to go back one more. You can do the same thing with items as well. So I can go to items here. And you can see I've already set this up for you that we've got a 2016 date for the posting date like we did before. And let's look at the Le Mans items here and see what's going on with those. And so I put in here a limiting of the Le Mans to the 4029 to the LMT02. So that gets our whole list of Le Mans items on here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that for items on an annual report. And you can see the quantities we have of those items. And it's a little crunched here. So let's pull this out. And you can see the purchased amount and quantities for everything that we have done. So you'll notice here, though, that we're missing 2. And that's because we're, again, doing a 2016 report. So our 2 new items never actually had transactions in 2016. So the tablet set and the tablets are not showing up here. Now, let's suppose I go here and do from 2016 to 2021. And now you see that the pizza tablet shows up. We haven't done anything yet with the sets, so that's not showing up at all. But you have all of those numbers available. You can actually go look at those as well to see the graphs. And you can change those graphs, by the way, too. So if you want to do, for example, a line graph, you can actually look at things in terms of purchased amounts and prices so that you can get an idea of how your pricing is going. And they're doing pretty good here for this particular product. All right. Now, along with that, I want to show you one more report. So let's go ahead and hit OK here. And the last report I want to show you is the purchase quotation comparison report here. Now, we've closed all our quotes, and so this is not going to work really well unless we get rid of this little bit down here. And usually you're going to want to look at the open purchase quotations. But I'm going to shut that off so you can see what the report looks like, and I'm going to do it for all of them again. But you can, again, talk about which items you want to look at, which vendors you want to look at, any kinds of dates and stuff. So you can filter this by an awful lot of stuff, including if it's an item or a service. I'll get OK here. And it starts all the way at the far end of this report. You want to slide it all the way over, and you can start to see all of our quotation comparisons. And so we've got a whole bunch of things about what we did and how we did it. Let's just scroll down here to some of these other ones here. And they're now grouped by item. But I can see, for example, Acme Associates for the printers, or let's say Le Mans Computers on the top here for, printer components. And here we have all of our printer component ones. And we got more printer components ones. And notice here, which has got the price that's sold. All right, good. So we could do a lot of fun things with this, go into each one of those item master data, see what's going on in there. And so it can get you a lot of information very quickly. You can, of course, collapse all that stuff too. And it's a great way if you have, for example, just one thing. Let's just look at this LM402. You can see the group numbers and the purchase quote numbers, and you get your prices. You can use this as well as a way of evaluating after you've put in all the data for quotes, which one you're going to use, and then you can create a purchase order from the one you've selected. So that's another good one to use. Now, I'm going to close all that up, and I'm going to give you one little bit of an admission here about me and reports. Is for most purchasing reports and a lot of the inventory reports, I tend not to use many of these things. I tend to be a little bit more specific about what I want to write, and so I tend up writing my own using SQL, and I will be doing a lot of stuff here in the Query Manager and the Query Generator. You might want to learn a little bit more about writing SQL reports, or learn how to get your IT team into writing these reports for you.